How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk to you about BNGO today because it's had an insane run up recently. I want to talk to you about what I'm doing with the stock and two huge catalysts that just happened that many people did not pick up on because everyone's looking at ARK Invest. Everyone's looking at ARK Invest, and they're not looking at something that's totally different but is making a lot of waves right now. It's a lot of people are focusing on it for all their investments, but they're not looking at it in terms of genomics. So I'll explain that here in a moment, but it could be huge for BNGO. It could be huge for the sector in general. I think you're going to want to stay through to it. So there are two main things that are going to happen. Now, before we get started, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, I really appreciate that. This is my second or third video of the day already today, and it's a Saturday. Usually I don't work on the weekends at all, but if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, I appreciate that. If you want to hit subscribe, I'd really appreciate that too. If you guys want to know exactly what I'm buying and selling in real time, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. A lot of people make back, like a year's worth of Patreon in the first day or two. And there are 3,700 other people in there, so you can talk with people all the time about different stocks. In case you're ever wondering what other people think about something, you can shoot it out there to the people in the Patreon, and they'll get back to you and talk to you about it. So there's also a link down there to Webull if you want to check that out. Some free stocks there if you deposit $100. It does help out the channel a lot too. It helps me out, so I appreciate that. If you want to give my girlfriend and I a date night, you can sign up for Webull and get some free money, and that will pay for our dinner. So I appreciate that. But let's take a look at BNGO today. So the reason that I did not sell it, a lot of people were wondering, okay, why not sell it? Because it was up at, it had run up to $7.20. Not last week, but the week before. A lot of people were saying sell it off now because they announced that price offering or the share offering, right? So I did not sell it off because I saw too many potential catalysts coming up soon in the future for BNGO. So I did not sell it because I felt like there was this massive symposium, and I thought there was going to be a lot of news that could be thrown out there. And honestly, there was. If you go look at BNGO's Twitter, it's just filled with different information on their symposium, and it got a lot of attention. So we saw an initial drop off of 31%. A lot of people kind of panic sold. I almost bought more at this point, but I didn't. And then we saw it run up about 70% through the week. Now, something that just happened, two major catalysts that happened just in the last day or two, I think a lot of people didn't see yet. First of all, Biden announced that he wanted to spend $400 billion to bolster fight against the pandemic. So he said part of these funds, I think this is really interesting here, and let me get out of all these ads on the Washington Post. A portion of the funds would be used to expand genomic sequencing to detect new strains of the virus, including more rapidly spreading variants that were first detected in Britain and South Africa. This is really interesting. I don't know if this money will go to BNGO, first of all, or if it will go to bigger companies, but BNGO has very quick technology. That's something that they've hit on. The fact that it's cheaper for them to map genomes, and the fact that it's a lot quicker. So it's cheaper and quicker than something like PACB. Now they have different products. You can go back and forth on which one's better, but I could see them spreading the wealth between a lot of different companies. Now, ARK Invest has said the whole sector is going to go up 10x in the future, or 5x, or they say that that's going to be one of the fastest growing sectors out there. So that's really interesting. There's going to be some money thrown at that sector just in general. The other massive catalyst is in that same kind of space. President Joe Biden picks geneticist as science advisor, puts in cabinet. So he announced Friday that he has chosen a pioneer in the mapping of the human genome, the so-called Book of Life, to be his chief science advisor, and they're elevating the top science job to a cabinet position. So this is Eric Lander. Hopefully he will be able to push the genomic sector forward. There are a couple different ways to play this now. So I think the whole genomic sector is going to increase. Now, the value of the sector is going to increase. The role that it plays in our world is going to increase. And I think that could affect BNGO. Now, I'm not saying that it necessarily will. I'm not saying that they're going to get grants or get money thrown at them, but I'm saying it's a possibility and people aren't realizing it. Maybe after they hear about this, after it gets spread out that, hey, there's going to be money thrown from the government into these companies, maybe that will actually cause BNGO price to go up. I'm not sure at this point, but another play that you can make is to invest in ARKG. So ARKG is an ETF by ARK Invest. It's their genomic ETF, and it's one that I have invested in. So you can buy a whole ton of different companies in this sector, and you don't have to worry about the companies and buying and selling and all that. Over the last 6 months, it's pretty much 2x'd. Over the last year, it's pretty much 3x'd. So this might be another good play. Now, I think ARK Invest will keep on throwing more and more money at the sector. They've said that they really think that it's gonna expand in the future. So I think like I said, there are a couple different ways to play it, but I wanted to bring this news to you about BNGO. Now, what am I going to do with BNGO? I'm holding. I could see the case for buying more. I almost bought more initially when it was around $2. I bought in at $125. Then I also almost bought more at $2, but I didn't. But now, obviously, you can see it go up and up and up. A lot of people will be asking, is it too late to invest in BNGO? And right now, this is kind of how I always view it. It's a lot riskier to invest in BNGO now because it's so inflated, right? If we have it drop down to $5 a share, I personally will still have a 200-300% return, so it won't make me as emotional on the stock. Now, I'm still losing the same amount of money that anyone else would be, but my emotions aren't tied to it as much, I think. Now, if you're looking over the long term, if you really feel good about the company, if you feel good about the product, I think it's kind of hard to understand their product because a lot of us aren't focused on that field. Like, that's not our day job, so I think it's kind of hard to analyze. But if you're bullish on BNGO, I don't necessarily think it's too late. Just know that there's a lot more risk on the table now that it's up. You're paying a lot more per share, but it could still go up pretty quickly. I've seen a lot of people put price targets on it of $15 a share, $20 a share. I'm not going to do that because honestly, the whole company is at such a small market cap. If ARK Invest went and put in, $10 million into the company, I think so many retail investors would start buying it. They could jump up to $15 to $20 right that day. So that's something that I would consider. ARK Invest has not said whether they're going to buy BNGO yet, but I know for a fact that they've been covering it a lot. Simon Barnett has been covering it a lot. He's one of their researchers. On his Twitter, he's been covering it. So they are looking at it. They're talking about it a lot, but they have not necessarily bought into it yet. So let me know your thoughts on this down below. I'd be curious in hearing what you think about this and what it could mean that Joe Biden has said they wants to put a lot of money in the sector. Let me know what you're going to do with BNGO. Are you buying it? Are you selling it? What are you going to do with that? And if you guys want to know exactly when I buy and sell, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. Check out the link down below to Webull too if you want to pay for our date night or something like that, or just more money to throw at stock. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys for that. And if you want to see the video I did a little while ago on a couple different SPACs, 5 different SPACs that are right around $10, definitely check out the link on the end screen here. I'll put it right up here and you can check it out. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in this video. Bye.